Hello, Wano Stanley. Hello, Felicia Baxley. Stevie, Aisha Mills is in the building. What up? What up? What up? What up? Hey. 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 This is the time to introduce yourselves, guys. Put your information on the screen. Holla at your girl. Lisa Stringer Bailey's in the house. Hey. Hey. Get your stuff on the screen right now. Let's get you right. Here we go. Hey. Hey. Got Deirdre Parker in the house. And Atatata, Texas. Hey. Hey. All right, y'all. We have 1 minute and 19 seconds left. You have a chance to introduce yourself while we're in this introduction. Hello, Rue Mayweather. She's in Dallas, Texas. What up, Doe? How you doing? You must do a full introduction. We're not just putting websites on the screen, y'all. So you need to put your name, what city and state, how you help people with your websites. For those of you using Bitly links that are, first of all, y'all need to go back to that training on day number 1. But if you do use a Bitly link, don't put the HTTPS, just put bit.ly/ so it doesn't put that weird little icon on there, because then it's going to put an emoji. Okay? All right, Coach C's in the house. Hello, Coach C. There you go. The crushing chemo chick. Oh, I love it. Praise God for you, for being able to push through your trials and tribulations. Allah. We have Erica Quinn in the house. Hello, 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 Erica. We still have now about 10 more seconds, 10 more seconds. And we can fit one more in. Tara Cartina, Atlanta, Georgia. Yes, see, every single day, y'all, it just continues to get better. You see our nice little intro, honey? We out here doing big things out here in these streets. Somebody put us on the big screen right now. In fact, if you are watching the Prophets Conference on your television, do me a favor, take a picture of it, post it on the gram or Facebook, and be sure to tag Urban CEO Network. Urban CEO Network. You see, we got these Urban CEO Network necklaces, and we've got t-shirts and hats and all types of stuff. Make sure you tag Urban CEO Network. You never know, you might just be able to win something really nice. So take a picture if you are watching this on TV. I always wanted to see myself on television, so take a picture of it right now, right now, right now. I said television, okay? I want to see it on television. Okay, so if you are broadcasting to television, take a picture, tag Urban CEO Network in it. You might just win a gift, all right? So first and foremost, thank you for being here, y'all. If you are an A1 Day 1, that means you have been watching, whether you've watched live or watched the replays. And even if you're watching the replays, still comment. If you're an A1 Day 1 and you've been watching since day 1 of the Virtual Prophets Conference, I want you to put day 1. Everybody type day 1, day 1, day 1, day 1. I want to know who are our A1 Day 1s, because I love to see and show everybody that every single day, guys, people are plugging in and being fed. And, I had somebody the other day, the other day somebody had hit me up and said, well, I already got my own trucking company. I said, see, that's what be wrong with us. I want y'all to understand. We think that we can't learn anything when somebody is doing what we're doing. But the truth is this: every single one of us should always be in a state of learning. I never tell myself or tell anybody that I can't learn something new. And I promise you, many of you guys that plugged in all through these days, you have been learning stuff. Yes, 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 yes. Shout out. Okay, so we got some A1 Day Ones in the house. Hello, hello, hello. Hold on, let me put y'all up on the screen. Now, if you're noticing when you're commenting that possibly it's saying unknown, you see how Felicia Baxley is putting her name and then putting day one? Do that, okay? Just go ahead, put your name, put day one, so that we can make sure that we know who you are. Because as you can see, if you're commenting in some of the groups, and it may also be based upon the way that your Facebook is set up, it will not post your name. So a lot of these day ones, they're not posting their names. So Lisa Stringer Bailey, we have Stevie, day one. Hello, hello. We have Pippa, who's a day one. We have New Visions Media, day one. All right, we got some more day ones. So make sure that you include your name so that we can shout you out. Chandra, she's a day one. Tara's a day one. You see what I'm saying? You see how it works? Angela Wynn's a day one. Kawano Stanley's a day one. We have Malika Dunn, a day one. Awesome. So anyways, thank you so much for being here through this entire process, y'all. This has been an ultimate pleasure, a privilege to be able to share amongst you guys. Now, real quick, I want to show you guys something. Make sure that you do take time to go and visit the Urban CEO Network. In fact, I want y'all to know we're going to be doing a giveaway live on today. At the end of our guest speakers talk, we're going to be doing a giveaway to 2 Urban CEO ambassadors, okay? I mean, not ambassadors, Academy members. So if you are an Academy member, you may possibly win today. So you need to make sure, guys, go to urbanceoacademy.com. This is where you want to register to join the Academy. And after we do that giveaway, guess what we're also doing? See, I told you this is a double whammy giveaway. We're going to be doing another giveaway for all of our registrants. You don't even have to join the Academy to be a part of this. These are some of the things that we're giving away. Typically, we do our giveaways on the second half of the day, but we're going to do it twice today. So somebody's going to possibly win a Yeti microphone, portable green screen, ring lights, cash. We got Cash App. We Cash Apping. Now, if you have one, what happens, guys? Let me just kind of tell you how the contest works, okay? So everybody understands how this works. The way it works, number one, you must be registered. You must be registered by going to the virtualprofitsconference.com. If you are not registered, then you don't count. Number two is you must share these videos. If we go to your timeline and we see that you ain't been telling nobody about what we're doing over here, it don't count, okay? And then number three, you need to be in the Virtual Profits Conference Facebook group, because so that we don't make these trainings too long, we don't do the giveaway on this video. We do the giveaway in the private Facebook group. So you need to go over to there. Well, Taria, I don't have a Facebook account. No problem. You just don't win. It takes 5 minutes to create a Facebook account. That is not a good excuse to me. If you want to get something that's free, you should be able to plug in. Now, what's going to happen is if your name is selected, okay, you need to be there live, but if your name is selected, you have to be able to go through your notes. So it's so important, guys. I've got my notebook over here. I'm taking notes. You got to be able to go through your notes and answer. And I don't ask difficult questions, but you must answer something from the speaker. If you're missing the live and you have to watch the replay, just have your notes, because I have always been told, all of my coaches, all of my mentors have never, ever let me slide by not taking notes. The person who takes notes is the one who has best success, but it's not just taking the notes. You must review your notes. So if you want to win, you will be asked a question from what the speaker talked about, okay? And if you can't answer it, you ain't gonna get no gifts, okay? So you gotta make sure. So you gotta join in on the broadcast. You don't have to be on video. You can just be audio only, but you have to be able to answer the question in order to win. So please, y'all, get your notebooks, okay? I don't want y'all to miss out on these free giveaways, okay? So we're gonna be giving away to the Academy members, because we did have some people who won the other day, but they didn't claim it. So I still got these available. We've got our Urban CEO Money and Love Body Butter, okay? We also have the Black Rose Beauty. This is a hair oil, and for women and men, if you got dry scalp, all that stuff, this is really good for you. This body butter smells amazing. We also have this bracelet available. We have 2 different bracelets from my friend who just created her own company. These stones are amazing. I have my own set of bracelets over here, and you're going to get one of these books. I got stuff everywhere. You're going to get one of these planners. These planners, the money planner for authors. Now, what's so dope about that is if you guys plug in tonight, y'all, we're going to be doing a live broadcast, and I'm going to be talking to you guys how to be able to create a book and turn it into an ATM machine. Okay, so anyways, with that stated, guys, make sure that you plug in because 2 people that are Academy members are going to get a slew of stuff. We got some additional things we're going to throw in there. You love your body butter? Yes, honey. It's all about attracting money and love. Money and love. When you wear that body butter, it's going to attract money and love. I promise you. Okay. All right. So I'm so excited again to have you guys here. How many of you guys are corporate climbers? If you're a corporate climber or you have a job, if you have a career, if you are work for someone, and it's okay, guys, because what we're not doing over here is tearing nobody down that is blessed to be able to still be employed, especially in these days and days, right? If you are a corporate climber or you do have a job, I want you to type the number 1 because this young lady that we're going to be bringing to the stage is going to be helping you guys about transitioning, okay? And so I think it's so important that we all be honest because a lot of times, you know, I hear some folks, they try to make you feel bad about having a job. Now, what I will tell you guys is if you know that you're called to do more, it's not about feeling bad, but it's about learning how to leverage that job and turning that into your investor so that you can invest into whatever it is you want to do. But some of us also want to be able to climb that ladder, okay? So wherever your space is, if you got a job, I want y'all to type number 1. Or if you're climbing the corporate ladder, I want you to type number 1. I want to see who do we have here? Who gonna keep it real in the field, right? I'm gonna tell you, ain't no shame in my game if I ever had needed to get a job, I would have did it because having a job is what allows you to have balance and allows you to invest. But I'm super excited. Let me tell you a little bit about our speaker, y'all, so we can get ready for success, okay? And I hope y'all grab y'all pen and paper. LaTonya is a dynamic, forward-thinking people strategist who through coaching helps bring true thought transition as she works to move clients from bored and bounce to unveiled brilliance during their career transitions. LaTonya has 20 plus years of progressive experience in higher education and corporate environments. She also experienced 2 layoffs, not 1, but 2 layoffs, started a business, re-entered the corporate workspace, and she is now helping other people do the same. LaTonya teaches people to navigate career and life confidently. LaTonya is on a mission to equip and empower leaders to decide to transition from deadbeat jobs and ultimately find a career they love. LaTonya's most important roles are wife and mother. And I love that so much. So guys, without further ado, I want to introduce to some, present to many, none other than LaTonya Jackson. Welcome.
Thank you, Taria.
Absolutely, Queen. Well, go ahead and take it away. We are excited. I'm about to get my pen and paper so I can take my notes.
All right. Well, hello and welcome. Today, we are going to focus on the subject of career transitions, moving from bored and bound to brilliant. All right. So Taria did a great job of setting us up. So let's start with a quote because I love quotes. If you've been in the Virtual Profits Conference group, I've been posting things all week, and this one will probably show up later today. But Eric Hoffer said, in times of change, learners inherit the earth while the learned find themselves beautifully equipped to deal with a world that no longer exists. I heard this quote recently while listening to Seth Godin on a live call, and I only heard the first part of it. And so when I went to look at it, there was so much more. And I fully agreed with it because the sons of God will inherit the earth. And then I thought, but how about we inherit the earth as we learn, as we continue to grow and step into the place that we're called? Just a little bit about Eric, because I don't want you to think I picked someone randomly, right? Eric Hoffer, he was born in the Bronx, New York. He was a San Francisco dock worker who wrote a book, Taria, he wrote a book called The True Believer in 1951. And overnight, he went from being a dock worker that was unknown to becoming an American literary philosophical author on the scene and became recognized as a highly original thinker who went on to receive the presidential award, and he became known as the longshoreman philosopher. And in 1956, a profile in Look magazine, it said he was a favorite author of one of our former presidents. And so he elevated himself, right? He made a transition from a blue collar working man to a philosophical author sitting on President Eisenhower's bedside table. So that's the power of when you think about making the transition, right? So Taria already asked how many of you are already corporate climbers who are looking to make a transition. I want you to type in the comments. If you're here at this event right now, you might be bored. No, type of one, if you are bored and have not reached your full potential. Type of two, if you are bored and or bound in one or more areas of your life. That's financial, professional, relational, spiritual, emotional, physical. Or type of three, if you want to unveil your brilliance and realize your dream job in the next 12 months. So tell me where you are by placing a number in the comments so I know who I'm talking to today and I can see the comments. I'm going to just look right here real quick and see what's going on over on the live feed. All right. So I see some numbers coming up, several numbers coming up. Good morning. So I see a 2. So we got someone who's just said they're bound in one or more areas of their life. I see a 3. You just want to unveil your brilliance. Okay. Thank you, Felicia, Chandra. Hey, girl. All right. So keep them coming. Let us know why you're here, because that's the point of this conversation. It doesn't matter to me, but I want you to know why and where and identify where you are. All right. So we'll just keep going. So let me give you a little bit more about me, right? So Taria gave you a great introduction, but I am actually Dr. LaTonya Jackson, right? And I don't like to lead with that because I don't want people to be confused by that or get distracted with my level of education. But I am an author, a speaker. Right, I'm an author, and I'm actually a 2-time author. Here's the book, No Deadbeat Jobs, that I did last year with Taria Vision Avant and the Show Your Success team. And then here's a book I did in 20 entitled I Am Called, right? But I want you to look at that picture that I've got on the screen. On the left, it was May 2nd of 2000, and I was actually featured there. And I found this picture the other day. I was looking for an old picture of myself that went way back. I don't look much different. I aged well, thank you, Mama. But when I looked at this picture, I realized that 20 years ago, I lacked purpose. I was full of fear, making wrong decisions. I was so uncertain about things. I procrastinated a lot and waited until the last possible moment. And so I lacked purpose. And the way I define purpose is a perched position. And I'll say more about that later, right? But I also lacked intentionality, right? I wasn't deliberate in my mind about the things that I wanted to do. And I lacked vision. Imaginative foresight. Vision means you're creative. You're creating, right? The chair that you're sitting in right now, if you're sitting, or the pen that you're holding right now, if you're holding a pen, someone had to imagine that first, right? They had to see it in their mind before it became a reality and something that you could sit in or something that you could actually hold. Well, I didn't have that. I didn't have that imaginative foresight. At least I didn't recognize it, right? And so that's who I was in 2000, nearly 20 years ago, right? Fast forward, here's who I am today, right? This is me and this is my family. So I have 3 kids. I'm a wife. I'm a mom. And the truth is, back in 2000, I didn't want to be any of those things. I didn't want to be a wife and I didn't want to be a mother. That's a whole other teaching. That's not what we're here talking about today. But over 20 years, I've gone through the process, as Taria alluded to, right? I got all the education, right? So I have a doctoral degree. I went to school. I got the good job. I was making 6 figures. I was doing all of those things, and yet during the course of that, things kept being revealed to me. It's like, I really don't like this, but I'm sitting in this job, but I really don't like this. I'm sitting in this job and I'm making 6 figures. Oh, I really want to do something else. And so over time, your brilliance will begin to be unveiled to you, and you'll begin to articulate and identify where you are and what it is that what you want to do. You'll get a new mindset, because that's part of the process. It's getting a renewed mind, and you'll begin to dream again, and that imaginative foresight will begin to open up for you. And so who I am today is different than who I was, and that's important for you to recognize, is where you are today. If you look at what I posted yesterday in the group, where you are today doesn't matter. Just start today, right? Because if you take a step today, tomorrow will be different, and that's my story. All right, so let's get into the content. Now, I want to engage you again. On a scale of from 1 to 10, what is your current perspective on Mondays? Okay, because later on, I'm going to give you some statistics. I just want to know, where are you on Mondays? Are you a 1? Are you dreading going to work every Monday, right? Sunday comes around and you're like, oh my gosh, I got to get up and go to this job. I really don't want to go to it. Or are you a 10, like, man, I'm doing what I love. Let's go. Let's get up. I'm hyped. I can teach for 2, 3, 4 hours. Or I can do whatever that thing is that I do well. Tell me where you are. Give me some information in the comments. All right. Let me know. Okay. And as you think about your rating, consider these questions. What would it take for you to reach a 10 if you're not there already? Okay. What would it take for you to reach a 10 if you're not there already? Another question for consideration: what decisions do you need to make today to get to a 10 in 3 months from now? Okay. What decisions do you need to make today to get to a 10 in 3 months? These are things that I want you to consider as we go through the conversation, right? Because I'm a coach and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask you questions and I'm going to help move you along in that journey. So I'm looking in the comments here. I don't see anybody, and maybe my phone is stalled, but whatever your number is, let us know. Type that in the comments, okay? So I'll keep going and we'll come back to any comments as I see them pop up here on my phone. But Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said that a thermometer records the ideas and principles of popular opinion. In other words, you are content working for someone else's dream. I'm going to say that one again. You are content working for someone else's dream. Okay. He also said, Dr. King said, that a thermostat transforms the mores or morals of society. In other words, you become the producer who set out to influence and leave an imprint on the world by participating in your own unveiling process. So, which one of these are you? Are you a thermometer helping to achieve someone else's dream? Or are you a thermostat? Are you the record keeper who is influenced? Or are you the producer who is doing the influencing? What are you doing to transform society as we know it? We all have a unique gift mix. We all have been gifted with something. I don't know how, I'm not a mechanic, okay? That is not my stilo. That's old school. Y'all know that I'm telling you how old I really am, right? That's not my stilo. That's not my gift mix. If you put me under a car now, I can read a book and figure it out and follow some instructions, but that is not where I'm gifted in grace. But you might be, and that is absolutely okay. Or you might love cleaning. Okay, I don't love cleaning. As soon as this quarantine is over, I'm asking my husband to bless me with somebody to come clean this house. I don't want to do it. That's not my gift mix. Now, of course, we're keeping up with the things we need to keep up with, but we need a deep clean, and that's just not my area. But that is the thing, right? Whatever your thing is, there are people who love cleaning. There are people who are like, oh, I love kids. Now, I love my kids. I do. I love my kids. But your kids, I'm not watching your kids. You can ask my friends. There's very few people whose kids I've kept in my lifetime. And so I want you to think about that, okay? I'm being a little facetious, but seriously, what are you doing to transform society as we know it? And if I had to guess, my guess would be there's about 86% of you who are the record keeper, okay? And there's statistics to support that. There's about 86% of you that are watching this video who are in the record keeper, who are the thermometer. You're not the thermostat. And I want to help you make that transition. So let me tell you a little bit about why you might be bored, okay? Why does it matter? The thermometer is a direct reflection of your current environment, okay? It influences your level of engagement in life and growth activities. Boredom, according to research by a guy named Stephen South, says you can leave you with little energy, which limits your ability to express yourself, right? So limits your expression. It results in failure and disappointment, right? Because you're irritated and you're feeling cynical and you're feeling worthless. Boredom can also lead to burnout and illness, right? So hinders, and if you're sick, you can't help nobody. If you're sick, you're not in a position to be a blessing to other people. It can also, you're at the whim of an owner. All of the people right now in this COVID-19 who've been furloughed or laid off from their job, you are always at the whim of the owner. That whole clause that's in your, if they say they're an at-will employer, that means that whenever they decide that they don't want you to work for them anymore, they can get rid of your whole department. That happened to me. They can decide that, you know what, we're going to get rid of this department and we want to put you over here. And it might not be something you want to do. That's also the other part of my layoff story, right? So you're always at the whim of somebody else. You're always at the whim of an owner. And boredom, and so just don't, I usually talk to women, right? I'm usually coaching women, but men, let's not leave you out, right? Boredom impacts men and women. Women, 48% of you are more likely to report feeling bored at work versus men, but men, 39% of you will feel bored at work, okay? And actually, there's a statistic again, more men commit suicide on Sundays and Monday mornings at 9 a.m. than women. So this is important, guys. It's a big deal, and I don't want that, okay? Suicide has to deal with betrayal. The betrayal I think that happens is because you betrayed yourself, you betrayed your gifts, and so you need to get to a place of, well, let's at least get to the place of identifying what that is so we can make steps, right? Take the next right step to make the transition, okay? All right, so let's talk a little bit about being bound. So I posted this quote earlier in the week, and this quote is by Carrie Oberbrunner. He said, if you're stuck in your job, then you're imprisoned, no matter how big the paycheck. Come on. If you're stuck in your job, you're in prison. Why? Because you're bored and you're at the whim of somebody else. But the likelihood, the reason that you're staying is because you're living a lifestyle beyond what your means, beyond where you should be. And as a result of that, your decisions are affected or impacted by the paycheck. Okay. And it's okay to stay where you are. It's good money. It pays double. Oh, right. And these are all things that I've heard. These are all things that people, well-intentioned, I love them, well-intentioned people, but they say things like, because again, your environment, that's what's working on you. People say, well, it's good money. It's 6 figures. It pays double overtime. It pays time and a half. It's a good job. But if it ain't what you called to do, then you stuck. And you're going to keep being stuck because that paycheck will continue to grow, even if it's just at the proverbial 3% per year. It's going to grow, but you're not going to grow. Right? And you're going to be stuck. And that, I don't want you to do that. So I'm not advocating for lackluster. Like, I'm not telling nobody to go out here and quit no job. I don't advocate for that. One of the things that we grew up with was you never quit a job until you know you have another one. That's for somebody. You never quit a job until you know you have another one. Okay? So I'm not advocating for lackluster decisions. What I am suggesting, though, is that perhaps the reason you've stayed where you are too long is because you've not taken the perched position, right? You've not found that purpose, that perched position. You're not sitting high. You're not looking out, and you're not having that imaginative creativity that's going to move you beyond your current situation. So, and you're only as bound as you think you are, right? I know many people, corporate climbers, who've been working and climbing the corporate ladder, but building their business on the side, right? Like most people call that a side hustle. You can call it a side gig. There's a whole book about the gig economy. Like, it's a thing. So don't feel guilty if you are working on something in your passion and growing it each and every day, so you're not bound or limited by the paycheck. All right. But that requires you to make that daily intentional decision to do that. Okay. And that's what my coach says. You got to set your intention. And I agree. So now I'm going to give you these 6 steps, right? I'm even wearing my t-shirt today. It says decide. Thank you again to Rhea, because I learned how to make t-shirts from her. I know. And so if you want to move from boredom and being bound to unveiling your brilliance, it all starts with who? You. It starts with you. Y-O-U, your own unveiling. You have to participate in your own unveiling. I can't do it for you. Taria can't do it for you. No one else can do it for you. You have to be willing to do that. You have to make that investment, okay? And so with that, there are 6 things, right? So part of participating in your own unveiling is you have to decide. You have to make a decision. And decide is an acronym, right? And so let's just walk through this really quickly. And Taria, please check me on time. I didn't hit my timer there because I was watching the Facebook group, so I missed hitting that button. So number 1 is discover your brilliance. We each have a unique gift mix to release in the earth, and it is crying out to be harnessed right now and enabled so you can stand in your power. It's what will cause purposeful living for you, right? That perched position, you'll be able to see where you're going. It becomes your value proposition and serves as the GPS for your life. Without it, you will lack clarity that's needed to shape and share your story with the world. So let's look at how we determine our way forward, right? So when I talked about value proposition, these are just some things, and this came from based on a book by Carrie Oberbrunner, who was also in the leadership development, professional development space years ago, who made this transition as well. And so there's, a teacher shares information, a trainer shares skills, right? A consultant shares advice. And so when you're writing your value proposition statement, and Taria did a teaching on this, I believe earlier in the week, it's your elevator pitch. You've heard it called many different things, but I say it's your value proposition statement. Okay, it's an I am statement. I am statements are very powerful. And I'm going to challenge you to spend the next 30 days posting on social media with an I am statement every day. So I'm going to tell you how this helped me. Following my youngest son's birth, I was given a diagnosis that there was a blood clot in my leg. I had high blood pressure, which I'd never had before. The prescriptions were more than $500 a month. And at that time, I was working in business full time. And of course, I had just had a baby. He was born like 2 weeks before this diagnosis happened. And I had no income during my maternity leave. And so things were tight financially, and mentally it was weighing on me. It was weighing on me so much so that I was like, I'm going to get up and go sell something. I found something to sell, so I got up and I went and sold something. And I made $400 in a day, in like 5 hours. And I was like, now, wait a minute. And so I was like, okay, this is good. And then that same company that I was working for is a direct sales jewelry company. That month they issued this I Am challenge, and I did it every day for the month of April in 2018. And my life began to change so significantly, not just in the natural circumstances, but my view of myself and how I saw the world began to change. I was joyful, and I looked forward to posting my I Am statement every day. In fact, some of them are still around, and one of them is my on my phone as my background, because it was that powerful. So I Am statements inform your value proposition. Okay. In a transition, we have to be able to remind ourselves of who we are and be able to state it to others as well. It's how we connect with our audiences and that we're called to serve. It's also how we position ourselves for our next right step. It's also what helps us to show up differently. Okay. During the 12-week program that I'm going to talk with you guys about, we walk through this in a little bit more detail. All right. So here's my I Am statement. I'm an author, speaker, and career coach strategist who helps the bored, bound, and broken make the true thought transformation journey so their brilliance will be unveiled to the world. See, just saying it, I feel better. I've been nervous about this whole presentation, and I just said that statement, and I feel so much better. So that's the power of your I Am statement, right? It's being able to tell the world what it is that you do and how you do it. And like I said, Taria did a great call on that the other day, and I encourage you to take a look at it. Or if you want to join our program, we can talk a little bit more and go in depth about how to write your I Am statement. Okay. All right. So the first D was determine your way forward. Number 2, I'm sorry, the first D was discover your brilliance, y'all. Did I say determine your way forward? It was discover your brilliance. All right. So number 2, encourage yourself. Difficult times reveal what's in our hearts. When we're frustrated, and we're feeling bound and we're bored at work, instead of complaining and looking for pity party provokers, I love that, pity party provokers, find a way to encourage yourself. It's a good way to connect. It's a good way to be with a team and a community that's around us. It's also how we influence others so we don't leave a negative impact, so we don't leave an emotional wake. All right. Number 3, commit to change. That's the C, commit to change. You'll find that you have to sit down and commit to yourself. You have to make a commitment to yourself into the direction of your life that you want to go, right? You have to stop being the thermometer. Stop it. Stop making excuses as to why you can't move forward. Establish goals. Taria did a teaching on that. Establish goals, get your intention, set your intention, and then do the work required to achieve what you want. Number 4, the I, invite truth. How many of you like receiving feedback, right? How many of you like giving feedback? I used to cringe at getting feedback, and I came to recognize that I could choose the manner in which I received that feedback. If someone gave me feedback that didn't align with my purpose, it didn't align with my value statement, I could just simply say thank you. And some of you just need to practice that. Just say thank you. And then when they walk away or you walk away, you say, I call those words dead and they fall to the ground and I declare that they'll die. Because if it doesn't align with who you are, then you don't need to be coming into agreement with that. But if they do give you some insight into something that's going to help you, you should say, okay, what do I need to do with this information? How is it going to help me grow? How's it going to help me learn? All right, so that's the I, invite truth in. The next D, determine your way forward. So what's your attitude? What's your action plan? And you need an action attitude. I call it aptitude. So you need to write down your dream and then focus on the next right step. So don't focus on, if your goal is to be a millionaire, right? If that's a desire that you have in your heart, or it's a word or calling on your life, then get to the point where you recognize, like, I'm not going to be there tomorrow, but what can I do tomorrow that's going to get me closer to that ideal dream or goal, okay? But it requires action. You can't just be sitting around wishing and hoping about it, and you can't be sitting here watching. I love that you're watching me today, but just watching me is not going to do anything if you don't take any action. There's been some great tools. Yesterday, I was like, man, I want to start a transportation business. I was over here with Tammy, like, how do I sign up? Okay. The other day, India was like, hey, I'm getting ready to do a book about overcoming. So what is it that you're going to do, right? We got goals and you got all of this access to all of this information, but it's not going to help you if you don't actually take action. So for 20 years, right, I was taking action. I didn't know, I wasn't sure, but I took the next right step, what I felt was the right thing for me. And if it got me off course, guess what? There's always a way to get back to where you should be. All right. So that's the D, and then the last letter is the E, evict the BS. I love that. I got a t-shirt about that one too. Bogus stories. That's what BS stands for. Evict the BS, the bogus stories. You got to get rid of the wrong thinking. There are reasons that come up in your mind that tell you why you can't, why you shouldn't, why you couldn't, why you won't be successful, why, right? There's all of these things that can come in your mind. Here's one trick. I don't want to call it a trick. I think it's just a revelation for me of how you can combat this. When the thought comes that's negative, that you can't do it, say the opposite of it. It's that simple. Open your mouth in the moment when you have the thought and just say the complete direct opposite. Here's an example. If someone says, LaTonya, you can't be a successful entrepreneur. Okay. Again, that's feedback, right? So somebody's saying something, I don't have to receive it. What I immediately have to say, though, so it doesn't get in my mind, to say, LaTonya, you will be a successful entrepreneur. In fact, you already are a successful entrepreneur. Okay. And so that's what I'm talking about. Evicting the BS is you got to take that thought captive and then you got to do something. Again, you got to be action oriented. Don't just take it captive and don't do anything with it. Guess what? Our thoughts are like trees, according to Dr. Caroline Leaf, and they grow roots and they sprout. And so you got to get to a position where you take that thought and you reverse it. So the tree that's planted is the positive one and not the negative one. My coach calls it a thinking feeling cycle. And so that thinking feeling cycle, you release a thought that releases a chemical that creates a feeling that leads to an emotion, right? So you got to catch those things and you got to have a plan on how you're going to do the opposite of that. All right. So another example I'll share for myself is I used to say I don't build relationships well. And I had a coach in my life at the time in 2016. She said, LaTonya, she caught my word and she corrected me. And she said, every day and every way, I want you to say this, every day and every way, I build relationships well. And so for 4 years, I still say that. Every day and every way, I build relationships well. So it's something that you have to do. It's important. You've got to catch those thoughts. You've got to evict the BS. And ultimately, you've got to decide. This is how we discover our brilliance. This is how we evict. This is how we move forward. Okay. This is how we make the transitions. Whether you're going to transition from the job that you're in to a career that you actually love, where you'll be successful, where you'll grow, or you decide to transition into business and entrepreneurship, whatever that transition is for you, or you might decide to do both, and that's absolutely okay. Give yourself permission to do that. All right. So once you decide to participate in your own unveiling, you'll look up and you will have transitioned into your brilliance. So what's on the inside of you? What's waiting to be revealed? What is the world waiting on? Okay. And I hope that what I share with you today is been a blessing and a benefit. So I told you I was going to give you some statistics, right? So here's some statistics about this. And this is based on a book, Day Job to Dream Job by Carrie Overbrenner. Stress. This is so if you're a corporate climber, these are the things that you're battling. 70% of American workers experience stress-related illnesses. Burnout. 34% think they'll burn out on the job in the next 2 years. Heart attacks. The LA Times reports that there's 33% increase in heart attacks on Monday mornings. 33%. Injury. Entrepreneur Magazine said there's a 25% increase in work-related injuries on Monday. Death. Okay, death, y'all. Is that job worth you losing your life? Is that job worth the generations that you have not receiving the benefits and blessings of your presence in the earth? Death. According to the National Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, more people die at 9 o'clock Monday morning than at any other time of the day or any other day of the week. And suicide, which I talked about earlier. Male suicides are the highest on Sunday nights when men realize that their career and their finances are not where they want them to be. I don't want that to be your story. I want you to make the transition today. Here's how I can help you. I want you to move through these 6 areas. Move from clarity to competence, to which will allow you to have influence, impact, and income. Let's work together to get to clarity about your next right step, because maybe you just don't know that, and you just need to work on that. From there, we'll talk about how we identify your unique gift mix. We'll look at ways to use it to make the transition competently, resulting in the influence, impact, and income that will change your life's trajectory and generational lineage. It's not about you. It's never been about you. So when I began this, I asked you if you were here because you are bored and have not reached your potential, or you are bound in any area of your life, and or you have a desire to unveil your brilliance and realize your dream in the next 12 months. I invite you to join the Career Transition Academy. And today I'm going to ask you to make a decision. So you can text me, text 479-308-8662, include your name, it's going to be the 10-week self-study program. Today's my birthday. I was going to give y'all some other options, but I decided at the last moment to just say, I'm going to give you the 10-week self-study program for the lowest possible price that I can. And this will end April 30th. So I'm going to give you plenty of time to make a decision. It's a 10-week self-study program. You'll get a digital course book. You'll get video trainings, audio trainings. You'll be put in my private community. And as a bonus, because it's my birthday, you'll get 2 private 30-minute one-on-one coaching sessions with me and a bonus group coaching session with everyone who signs up as a result of this conference. So all you have to do is text me. I will send you the information, and on tomorrow or sometime next week, I will let you know that information after I get your text and your email, when we will come together, and I will answer any questions if there's not time to do that right now. Okay, so for $147, I normally charge $297 for this program. You're getting 10 weeks, y'all, 10 weeks and some coaching. My coaching rate is $250 an hour. And so for 30 minutes, if you look at that, you're getting a full hour of my time as a bonus. That's not even, a group coaching session is usually $197. So the value that you're receiving is far outweighing the price that's listed here for $147 because you joined the Profits Conference and joined me today. All right. So I'm going to, by choosing not to make a decision, you choose to stay exactly where you are. It's as simple as that. That is the reality of the situation. There's nothing else I can say. Carrie did a great job, so I said, let him say it. So as I prepare to wrap up our time, here's what I want to leave you with. God has implanted in us the seeds of all greatness, and it behooves us to see to it that the seeds germinate, that they grow and come to flower. We must see learning and growing as a sort of worship, for God has implanted capacities and talents in us, and it is our sacred duty to finish God's work. Again, a quote by Eric Hoffer, a man who was a dock worker who became an American philosopher and thinking partner for presidents across these United States. I'm so privileged and honored to have been with you today. Thank you so much. My contact information is there. Taria, I'll kick it back over to you.
Awesome. I'm going to keep you on this real quick because I definitely wanted to ask a few questions about your program and things of that nature. We have a lot of people wishing you happy birthday. So happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
I know today was your birthday. Are you a Taurus or did you miss that mark?
I am a Taurus.
All right. Shout out to the Tauruses in the house. You know I'm a Taurus too. So anyways.
I know.
Right. So the first thing that just so that everybody can get clarity on your program, specifically who's the person that this program is for? So what is it that they're dealing with as far as their challenges right now, that you're looking to help them with?
So I think the person that I'm targeting, right, I typically work with mid-level career professional women. But if, again, the statistics say men and women. So if you are in a position where you feel stuck, you're frustrated with your job, you're frustrated even in your business, right? Do I need to go back to work? Because I've made both of those transitions. I can help individuals who want to transition from a job in a corporate environment to another job that's more like their career and aligns with their purpose, or the individual who's like, I want to move from career to business, or the person who's like, I've been in business and I think I want to go back into corporate. How do I do that? So I'm targeting those three audiences.
Okay, gotcha. And so when they get into their self-study program, if you could give me like one specific result that you're going to help them with? Like, are you going to teach them how to go ask their boss for a raise? Are you going to teach them how to, I don't know, acquire new knowledge within their career? What are some of the things they can expect to learn in the self-study course?
So in the self-study program, you're going to learn how to write a value proposition statement. You're also, you said just one. So that's one of the things you're going to.
So how will they use that value proposition statement? Because I want them to understand, like, okay, so I have this. How am I supposed to use this for me to grow in my career?
For you to grow your career, once you understand that value proposition statement, we'll walk through the steps on how to use that to identify the organization or company that you should start, or the organization or company that you should be a part of in the corporate sector, and what types of roles and jobs you should actually go after. That's going to get you to that to the place that you desire to be.
I think, LaTonya, a lot of times, especially when we're talking about in the corporate world, and I would ideally tell you that, really the person that I think personally should be the one who does want to climb that corporate ladder right now. I think that's really who, for those of you who love what you do, but you know that you're not being paid what you're worth, you should most definitely reach out to Dr. LaTonya Jackson. But I think ideally, like even for me, when I first, had graduated from college, I had my degree in computer science, whoop, whoop, and now I was ready to join the workforce. And I honestly didn't know what to apply for. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know what to apply for and also what to ask for. Like, I didn't really understand that type of value. And I think many of us, what we do is we fall onto the understanding of maybe other people who have done what we have done. And so I think one of the most important factors, and you can tell me, do you find this with many people that are trying to climb that corporate ladder? They really just don't know what they don't know. And so is that something that you also assist with? Like, okay, you got your degree in this. Do you know that you could really get a job doing X, Y, Z, thus and that, and making this type of income? Is that something you also assist with?
Yes, I do. In fact, I just coached someone the other day, and she is in a job that she has a degree in, what is that? You said computer science. It's not computer, business analyst. She's a business analyst. Mm-hmm. And so we're going through our session and we're talking, and she's like, she's a first generation worker in corporate environment. Like, you talked about being a first generation entrepreneur. That really resonated with me, because I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a first generation entrepreneur. I was a first generation college student. Now I'm a first generation entrepreneur. And then as I was talking to this young lady and reflecting on the calls yesterday, I realized there are first generation workers, corporate climbers. They don't know what they don't know. That's really good. That's some revelation. Sorry, you're giving me some revelation right now. But that first generation corporate climbers, there are things they don't know of. How do I function in the corporate environment? How do I show up there? And that was a huge struggle for me. And I think it's actually a struggle for a lot of Black women. I'm just go there. I got to go to the color thing. But I think it's a struggle for a lot of Black women. Even in the last company I was with, I wasn't showing up. And I was like, this doesn't make any sense. I had a Black female leader, and she was my proponent. She was tough but fair, right? All of the things that I needed. I loved working for her. And that made me love working, doing my job. But at the end of the day, the people who were making decisions, right? The people that were making the decisions on whether my team stayed or or left, I wasn't showing up right for them. And so I learned some valuable lessons that I'll be able to pass on to those first generation corporate climbers as well.
That's really fire. That's real fire. Because let me ask everybody, and I want to know, how many of you guys that are currently watching this, if you are or you were a first generation corporate or even first generation career, because there is a difference between having a career and having a job. You're actually working in your space, or you desire to work in the space that you graduated from or that you've worked hard, right? So if you are first generation, I want you guys to type first, okay? Now, if you also have any students in your household, college students, somebody actually just mentioned this, because I think that would also be a great audience, because you probably do have some college students right now, guys, who they're spending money on their tuitions, right? They're spending all this money, but just like I was, where I was that lost college student, I didn't know what job I should apply for. I didn't know how much money I deserved. I didn't know any of this. So I was just kind of just going with the flow, hoping and keeping my fingers crossed that I would get the right job. I went into my interview. I was a hot mess. Okay. Just so that y'all know, I was giggling and laughing because I didn't know what the hell they were talking to me about. And I didn't get the job. Okay. I had to go through a temp service in order to land a job. And we got a lot of first generations right now. Dr. LaTonya, that are watching. And so I think that if you have a college student in your household, this is this is something that they also need to plug into as well. So any college parents, okay, if you are a college parent, I want you to type college parent, right? Look at this. My son just completed his degree. And so why would you want your child to be in school all these years, spend all this money that we know these degrees cost, and not know how to properly go in there and get that job and create a schedule or create a plan for how they plan to climb? Another thing, Dr. LaTonya, I want to ask you, do you find that many people maybe get into a career and they don't set a game plan? Like, if I don't hit this level within the next 12 months, I'm out of here. Do you find that you have people who do go through that? And what do you share with individuals where putting a timeline on what their growth should be?
Yes. So it's interesting you bring up college students. I worked in the career services department at a university, right? So I'm familiar with how they do things, and I always am a proponent for leveraging the services that a college or university offers. Now, keep in mind though, if those individuals have never made the transition from higher education to corporate, they might not be able to help your student. So there's questions even in that they just need to go in and ask. So I just wanted to address kind of that piece of it real quick. But yes, I absolutely can help college students as well. For those individuals, your question as it related to remind me of your question, Taria, because I want to make
So
sure I answer
I'll
it
kind of break
correctly.
it down a little bit more, like to give somebody, they can kind of see if they see the scenario in their life. So I got a job, and I want to one day I want to hit this particular position with this company because I've done my research. This is where I want to be. Most people, first of all, never do that. But when somebody does take on a job, should they create a set of goals for themselves of how long they're willing to stay in this position before demanding their worth, or are they going to stay in or go? Because I know several people that will stay in a job for years and be unhappy knowing that they deserve to move up the ladder, but they don't demand it and they don't know what to do. So what do you say to that person that maybe in that position or getting ready to take a position and not really setting a goal, goals for how they should climb that ladder?
Get my book.
Yes,
No,
honey, get that book.
I'm sorry. That was why I was
Oh,
like, that's
show
a perfect
everybody your
thing.
book again too, because I didn't get a chance to get on your screen. I messed up. Show everybody your book. Put it on the screen.
Oh, here
Yes, honey. She's got two books too. Oh, the green screen is
we
messing it up. We can't
go.
see it. She's got two books as well, guys. Yes, No Deadbeat Jobs, and then you have another book as well.
Yes, it's a children's book entitled "I Am Called."
Oh, that's so good. So now and I'm gonna throw this in real quick. So she didn't tell me if she was gonna do this, but I'm gonna see. So if somebody does take advantage of this self-study, would you be willing to maybe throw in an autographed copy of your book?
I would. Good call, Taria. Yes, of course.
So look, and she has said yes. Thank you, Lord. Okay, so for those of you who are interested, what you first need to do is text the number. If you can, go back to that screen where you had the number. you want to leave with our viewers here?
Yes, I do want to go back and answer your question. So you have to have a career development plan or an individual development plan from the time you walk in the door with an organization. It takes some time to learn that, and there's ways you can learn it. I do outline some of that in my book. I'm not kidding. But as we go through the sessions, as we go through the training, we'll give you some additional tips to help you really make that transition. And so I hope that you guys choose to make a decision today, not to stay where you are, but to take the next right step to move forward towards your dreams. I'd love to help be a part of that journey for you. Thank you, Taria, so much for today, for all of your help over the last few weeks and years. How long have I known you? And for this great opportunity. I really appreciate everyone's support, and I look forward to seeing y'all in my group.
Absolutely. Again, guys, and I'm sorry, when I was on the screen, I think I was muted. Y'all make sure y'all text this number 479-308-8662. Text your name and your email. You're going to get all of this content, all of this information. I highly recommend it. Dr. LaTonya Jackson, again, thank you so much for being here. Yes, we have known each other for years, and I'm just so excited to see just what you're doing for people in that space. You know, everybody does not necessarily want to be an entrepreneur. Some of us want to utilize our skills or our degrees that we have received. And for anybody that has a degree, or you have that background experience where you want to climb that ladder, that is a blessing. It is a blessing for some people to still be seen as valuable in their workspace and they have not been fired, because I know people who got fired, and I know some people right now who have been fired and they're needing somewhere to transition into, needing to figure out, okay, how do I take all the years of experience that I have had and be able to now transition to a new career and earn the kind of income that I deserve? Because that's what she does. Okay, so again, guys, you need to text that number. Thank you so much, Sine, for putting that right here. Text 479-308-8662. You want to text your name and your email. All right, guys, so this is what we're going to do. I'm so excited. I want to know, I'm going to also find out who sent out a text message, because we're about to go and get ready for our giveaways for the day. Okay, so I'm going to do the first giveaway for our Academy members. I'm actually going to do a little bit of a twist, and so we'll be coming back live. I'm going to close off of here. We're going to come back live and we're going to do 2 different giveaways, but I just want to make sure that you guys are able to get this content, this information. Please share this video, tag people that you know who need this information. This offer is going to be available until April 30th. Shout out to all of our tourist babies in the house. How you doing? Okay. All right. So with that stated, I'll be right back for the giveaway. Again, thank you for Dr. LaTonya Jackson. She was amazing. Yes. All right, guys. So we will be right back.